Welcome to the top of the morning show. It's your girl TT from the D. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope that you are well rested and ready to tackle this amazing day ahead of us. No matter where you are around the globe, I'm always thinking about what you want to hear, and for some of us, what we need to hear. If you are just joining us for today, this week, we're going to be discussing the 5 love languages. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, did you know that in relationships, there are a really deep line of communication, and it threads along the way, some might say weave along the way. 5 love languages. And do you know what those 5 love languages are? It's amazing because there's a whole book on the 5 love languages. And so we're going to talk about that, what that looks like, how do we use it, and I couldn't think of a better, I would say, author, right? Because we have some great books out there, but we're going to tap into and unpack this week: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. Yesterday, if you tapped in at 6 a.m., we covered affirmations, word of affirmations. We broke that thing all the way down. We unpacked it. And I would say it's a concept created by Dr. Gary Chapman through his studies and his work as a marriage counselor. It's an amazing book. If you don't have that book, this is not a shameless plug, and no, he is not paying me to tell you about it, but it's actually an amazing book that my husband and we actually had to read. It was homework given to us by our pastor when we were getting ready to be married. We had to go through premarital counseling and things of that nature, and he said, I need you guys to know your love languages. And we're looking like, what? And so he's like, yeah, there's 5 love languages. So we're like, really? He says, yes. He said, in some of your homework, you guys, I need you to get the book. All right? And I'm like, okay, like we're doing homework. You know what I'm saying? So you're thinking like, what is this about? But when I tell you Dr. Gary Chapman is phenomenal. He's not only an author, he's a public speaker, he's a marriage counselor. He has a love and a passion for people who are married, just as I do. Now, I'm not an official author. I am a public speaker. I am an ordained marriage ministry leader. But I love love. And when I read the book with my husband as we were going through our premarital counseling stages, we discovered that we knew the love languages that we had for one another, but we didn't understand what they were. Excuse me. Whew. Early. So we didn't really understand what they were, what they looked like, things of that nature. And a lot of times we don't. Like before that, I never heard of such thing. I can honestly say I never heard of, there's 5 love languages. Like what? Didn't know anything about it. So this morning, we're going to talk about acts of service. Now, you might say, okay, TT, what are some acts of service, or how do you show acts of service? Well, first of all, acknowledge each other's support system. And when I say that, you thank your partner when they've said something and they've spoken your love language to you. Now, it doesn't have to be a spoken word, okay? Because we know words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time. I'm rambling on off now. I'm like, oh God. Quality time, acts of service, affirmations. Jesus Christ, Holy Father, activate. There are 5. I'm just going off the top of my head, and I'm thinking like, why am I stuck? Like what? Dr. Gary Chapman would not be appeased knowing that I didn't remember that, as I'm just sitting here rambling. It is early in the morning. I got that little brain frog like, what? I'm super sleepy, right? I am. I'm very tired. As you can hear me, excuse me, so disrespectful. I know you're like, TZ, really? Yeah, this is real time, real life. Like, we talking about some real life stuff, man. Say no. You probably like, girl, is you awake? Not really. I'm like floating on air, or not air. What's that? What we call it? Fumes. I'm like really, really, really floating on fumes. It's a lot going on, and I haven't been getting enough rest, y'all. But guess what? I'm dedicated to making sure that we are where we're supposed to be, doing what we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to do it. And you're probably like, really? Yes, because I'm a committed podcaster, right? I am a committed podcaster, and I definitely want to make sure that we stay on task. I did ask you all to tap in and share your thoughts last year in 2022 about what you wanted to hear and things of that nature. And so I'm super excited that you took the time out of your schedule. Some of you dropped me a line. Some of you sent me an email. There was no wrong way to do that. There was no wrong way to do that, but it's kind of like, all right. So, I digress. My God. Yes, back to the 5 love languages. Okay, let me go back over. So, yesterday we talked about affirmations. Today we're doing acts of service. Quality time. Excuse me. Quality time. Physical touch. Gifts. Right, receiving gifts. Okay, yes. So gifts, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation. It's very simple, but yet very hard. All of those really talk about how we actually can have self-love, right? When you think about it, if you think about physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts, words of affirmation, quality time. Now, yesterday we talked about words of affirmation, giving your spouse and even yourself pep talks, encouraging words, motivation, being your biggest cheerleader, supporter, right? And today we're going to break down acts of service, doing things for yourself, doing things for your husband, doing things for your wife, your significant other, to make their lives easier. We live very hectic lives in today's time, and we really, really have to learn how to unpack that and tune in and really know who we're dealing with, right? When we're dealing with our spouses, our significant others, because we live really busy lives, and it sometimes can get lost. We can really get lost. So let's tap in more with the act of service love language, okay? That's most people primary language. Their primary love language, I should say, is acts of service, right? Who doesn't want to feel good about what they do for others or what's being done for them? Actions go a long way. We could, that old saying, actions speak louder than words. It's so true. Oh my God. Now, you could say some things and you're like, okay, I feel you. But when you do some things, you're like, wow, I really felt that. Because it was an act of service versus it was words. Because we could just say words. You could listen to this episode and then like, yeah, okay, that resonated with me. Or no, that didn't really resonate with me. But when you do something for someone, it can make things so much easier. Let's just think about this, okay? Ladies, this is for my ladies. I'm going to get to you too, fellas. Don't think I'm about to be one-sided. So, ladies, after you've been at work, if you are someone who works outside of the home, even if you work at home, because being a homemaker and at-home wife is a job. Don't get it twisted. Raising children or a child is work, especially when you're parenting. Now, if you just putting that child in front of a TV and you gone by your business, you doing something in the house and you ain't got time, you're not really parenting. You're not. But when you're loving on and protecting and providing and sharing and educating your child or children at home, that's a job. So imagine, fellas, you have an at-home wife or a homemaker or a wife that goes out every day into the work world, no matter what, that's 9 to 5 or in the graveyard shift, evening shift, whatever that looks like. I hate when I be honest. It's so disrespectful, but I'm tired. I'm so sorry. So think about that. When they're out and about or they're even home and they're doing their thing, depending on your wife or significant other, you know what they like. If your wife, let's just say, this is just an example. This isn't everybody's truth. But if you have a wife that enjoys a bottle of wine and loves candles, how about stopping at the store and grabbing a nice candle a nice bottle of wine, and going home, running her a bubble bath if she likes to soak, lighting that candle, pouring her a glass of wine, sitting it on the side of the tub, and saying, sweetheart, I know you had a long day. And even if she didn't say, oh, this, that, and the third, it's just work that can be tiring. It doesn't always have to be physically tired. It could be emotionally tiring. It could be mentally tiring. But for you to do that random thing, something so simple as running her a bath, lighting that candle for her, pouring her a glass of wine, and saying, sweetheart, I know you had a long day today. I just wanted to do something nice for you. I want you to just take a moment to digress and revisit how your day went. If it was a great day, great. If it was a day that was hectic, what could have been done differently? That goes a long way. On the flip side of that, ladies, if you have a husband that works from home or he's out and about, he goes into that 9 to 5 graveyard shift, afternoon, evening, he jet sets, he's always on a plane, a train, or some type of automobile. He's a coach, he's a leader, whatever it is. They get tired too, ladies. They get tired too, and I know you know that. So your husband may not care for soaks, he may. But what about treating him, especially if he's on his feet all day, or he's always on the go, treating him to a nice pedicure? Hell, don't nobody like to have a husband look at their nails and it look like they drop engines for a living with all that dirt under their nails. That's so unsanitary, and it's also not sexy to look at a man's hands. Just like I figure men don't really like to look at our hands either, ladies. And you got chipped nail polish. You know how a nail break and we don't get to the nail shop, so we throw a band-aid on it or we wrap it up. Like, what? Some of y'all bold as hell. Y'all be out there with no band-aid, no type of tape. Like, I'm in these streets. This nail's broke. That's what it is. Whatever. But I'll say that's for a little bit of humor. But on a lighter note, like, think about that. Your husband, you give him a gift card. You go, if he goes to get manicures regularly or he gets pedicures regularly, go and make him an appointment and pay for it, ladies. Pay for it. And just say, hey, can you meet me? Because, here's what's funny. A lot of times men don't know addresses to places. They know how to get there. You ask your husband right now, your significant other, hey, you know the address to my nail shop or your nail shop? No, because I don't know mine. Look, and I go faithful. I love my nail tech, Linda. I don't know the address. I know where it's at, though. I know how to get there. I can direct you there, right? I can give you landmarks, all kind of stuff. But you ask me for that numeric address, please. I got to Google because I don't know, right? But anyway, you could send, and I've done this before, you could send your spouse and say, and this is for my ladies, a little tip for your husband or your significant other, your boo thing, baby daddy, okay? Say, hey, can you pick up a package for me? Or I need you to drop off an envelope for me because I just don't have time. And let's just say you set his appointment up for the next day or after work and he ain't got nothing. Now you got to make sure you check that man's schedule, especially if he's busy, right? So then you say, hey, can you drop this off at this address? And once he pulls up, he already know what it is. It's like, but sometimes they may be like deers in headlight. They walk in. And then, of course, the nail tech, or they'll say, hey, can I help you? Depends if you got an appointment. Of course, you want to make sure they got an appointment. We don't want to send our husbands in there waiting. You know how we do. We don't mind going in there sitting down so we can get pampered. But our husbands sometimes be looking like, I ain't got time to be sitting here waiting now. I ain't about to do the waiting game. Hurry up and wait. Like, what? No. So make them an appointment. And when they get there, they could be like, oh, hey, so-and-so. Yeah, I was waiting for you. Okay, you ready? And then he looking like, ready for what? Oh, yeah, your wife or your significant other paid for you a pedicure or paid for you a manicure, or if you're lucky, paid for you a pedicure and a manicure because you've been on your feet all day. And that card that you gave them is actually a card. They open it up, and by the time you know their appointment, they should take them to get there. You can call and say, you know what, sweetheart, you've been on your feet, you've been jet setting, you've been doing this, you've been doing that. I just wanted you to relax, kick your feet up, and let someone just give you a nice pedicure, massage your feet for you, and just relax. That's at least an hour and a half. That's at least an hour and a half if you go to a good shop. So that's just a tidbit. That's a little something, but it's bigger by saying it's an act of service. Doing the dishes, loading the dishwasher, right? Getting up in the middle of the night if you got a little small child. Fellas, you know we as women are nurturers by nature. Well, most of us. If that baby is up, how about when she getting up to get ready to feed that baby? I got it, babe. You get you some sleep. It's like, what? And I know you might be saying, ain't no big deal. It's the little things, ladies and gentlemen. It's the little things that matter. I promise you it's the little things. Now, we love big things, don't get me wrong. But it's the little things, okay? Those little things go a long, long way. If you think I'm bullcrapping, tell me where the lie's at, okay? I can go on and on and on about different acts of services. But I think I gave you that one example. You know, if you know that your significant other likes to have breakfast, how about treating them to breakfast in bed? Or if you don't cook or you don't feel like cooking, you still can order a nice carry-out breakfast. Like for me, my choice of place to order a carry-out breakfast would be the Pancake House, or it depends. It just really depends. I prefer, my husband is one of those people, he loves to go sit down unless he's tired. Now he's on tour right now, so I know he's jet setting. And I discovered a beautiful brunch spot. I said, oh my God, I got to take him to it. I don't know if he's going to be up for going Sunday, but I really want to take him Sunday to this brunch spot. But he's been jet setting every day since he's been on the road on tour. So I said, I know that man gonna want a nice home cooked meal. He's been eating good. Don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like having a home cooked meal, right? And so, but it's the thought that counts. So even if I didn't have time to cook, it'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna get him one of his favorite carry-out dishes, and I'll make sure that he has that for dinner because he don't have to go out and find it or pick it up or whatever. I'm gonna do it, or I'll get it for him. For me, I'm in deep with rehearsals right now for Peerless Times. And that is going down next week, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are going to attend Peerless Times, it's going down next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay? April 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I'm in rehearsals. We're deeply into rehearsals. So my husband, when he returns, it's going to be one of those, whoo, I don't want my husband to be having to cook dinner. But a couple of them days when he's back, I'm going to be at rehearsal. And so still, I want to do active service for him. And I know he's been gone and he wants to do active service for me. So we might get into the battle royale with active services. We just might, because we be doing that sometimes. But it's just really, really cool, you know, to do something kind. And I'm going to give you a few ideas. Okay, do with them as you will. It's up to you. You know what your wife, your husband, your boo thing, they enjoy. But here are just a few acts of service examples. Okay, laundry. Everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody. I shouldn't say that. I learned a long time ago you don't do that. But some people don't like doing laundry. They'll throw their stuff in the washer and dryer, but they do not care for folding, ironing, separating. Come on, they don't. So if you see them doing laundry, let's just say they got it in the laundry room. That could be in your basement. That could be on your lower level, upper level. I don't know. Whatever stacked, whatever that looks like. Go and just grab that basket of clothes out for them. If you know they hang their stuff up, hang it up for them. Fold it for them. If you ain't going to put it away, how about grab the stuff, fold it, and put it in the basket because you know they don't mind putting it away. But that's one more step. Now that, you know, like, oh, it's gone. Because, you know, some people will live out of a basket in a minute. I've done it. I've been guilty when I'm busy. It's like, whew. So I've gotten to the point where I tell my husband or my boys, if you see I've done laundry, can you bring it up? If it's, you know, my laundry, bring it up. Like, everybody kind of does their own laundry. And I'm like, I don't mind doing people's laundry at my house. But they're like, no, I got it. The only person laundry I seriously do still is our 13-year-old. And we're teaching him how to do his own laundry. He's being very self-sufficient and reliant, but we're teaching him. So it's just an idea, the laundry. That's a big deal for some people. How about make your significant other favorite dinner? Like I said, me, if I don't got time to cook and I'm on the go, I know there's several different places my husband loves carryouts from. So I might say, I got dinner. I'm picking up dinner on my way home from work before I have to go to rehearsal or go to a meeting or whatever that looks like. Yeah, it's an act of service, and he's always grateful, just as I am too, right? How about if your spouse or significant other is a snacker, make them a little gift bag, right? Like, I've done this several times. I grab all the little snacks, not all, but some of the snacks that I know my husband likes to have when he likes to binge watch or watch his favorite shows, and he can have them there. Now, he's really been on this health conscious kick, so now I have to look at healthy snacks, but it's just an idea. However that looks, surprise them, drop them off at their office, put them in a place that you know they frequent in your home. If they are one of those people that's always in the garage or working on the basement, healthy snacks. Put things, you know, they like a certain bottle of water, a brand of water, I should say. Make sure you get those little things. Just the little things that count, right? Now, I know people can appreciate this. It's 2 for 1. You hop in your spouse's car, or if you share cars, and you look at their gas hand. Every time I get in my husband's car, I look at his gas hand. Force a habit. If you can think about it. If it's daylight, ladies, okay, you feel safe, whatever, stop and get some gas. If you took the car, hypothetically, was on half a tank, fill it up. And that goes both ways. And here go a bonus to that. If you know that your significant other seems like they're allergic to the car wash, why don't you just roll on through the car wash for them? It would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. What'd be crazy is if they don't recognize they got a car wash. You know you ain't did it. But it's like, okay, right? Do a daycation. You don't always have to go out of town. So if you do a daycation, it could be a staycation as well. It don't always have to be at a hotel. If you got a child or children, you can set it up with a sibling if you have one, or a friend, somebody you trust, grandma, granddad, big mama, whatever, and say, hey, even if it's a few hours, you mind watching so-and-so? I'm going to try to do a massage and dinner, or, you know, we're going to do an overnight stay. But let me be clear about this for those of you that have a child or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. When someone volunteers to help you make a special moment for you and your significant other, please, by all means, do not be disrespectful and take extra time and don't communicate that, or you making extra time, but you're going to you just gonna throw that on that person or people who decided, because you don't know what their plans are. If you say I'm picking them up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you need to be there before 1 o'clock or right at 1 o'clock, because they very well could be planning their own stuff right after you pick that child or children up, and you decide, well, we decided we was gonna stop and get a bite to eat. Because the next time you ask me and I know I might have something to do, or they ask you ask that person, or that go, you know, vice versa, you get how that go. Then they're going to say no, because I got this to do, or I got to be here. If you're not good on time, people don't like to mess with people that do that. So when you get you a person that don't mind watching your child or children, be kind to them. Hell, also offer to buy dinner. You know what I'm saying? If you got a child or children. Now, if you got a teenager or teenagers and they're just kind of monitoring them and kind of just watching out, yeah, you know, they're self-sufficient. You know, I wouldn't recommend dropping off a bag of food, telling your child or children to cook at somebody else's house. But what I would suggest is say, hey, you know, because you keeping them over, or her or him over, you know, what were your plans for dinner? And they might say, oh, I'm making this or whatever. Well, do you need me to buy a little extra so that he or she or them, they will have, you know, be able to eat dinner with you guys? Now, depending if it's afternoon, that's only after this afternoon. You know what I'm saying? If you bringing them, you should have fed them. If you going out to dinner, you should make sure your kids got dinner, right? So that person or people don't even have to, like, your big mama don't need to be cooking. You know what I'm saying? So you should be providing a meal already prepped, or carry out, or have somebody designated to drop it off, so that big mama or papa, they ain't got to worry about cooking. It's already set for them. They feeling like, shoot, this is cakewalk, right? It's an act of service for them as well. Okay. Let's just say, you know that, and these are just examples because it's going to be different for everybody. How about sharing responsibilities? That's a whole nother podcast. But sharing the most responsibilities. If you are the person that's always at home and picking up the child or children, taking them to events or taking them to school, picking them up from school, whatever that looks like, how about switch with your partner? So if that's mom's job, or mom always drop me off or pick me up, dad, take the roles sometime. Take the ropes. Let her not have to get up and go do that. It's time to go pick him or her up or them up. And you know she about to, hey, babe, I got it. What? You know, she gonna be like, what? Oh, I'll pick up him. I'll pick him up. I'll pick her up. I'll pick them up. No problem. I got it. You know what I'm saying? You've been working all day. It's all good. I got you. Man, when I tell you that extra service is gonna go a long way, you think I'm joking? Because I have got conversations with my homegirls. I have conversations with my homeboys. I've heard what you said in some of the feedback through the podcast over the last 3 years. So I'm looking, I'm listening, and I'm watching. And I'm trying to share the wisdom, the education that I've gathered over the years with you so that you can have a healthier, sexier relationship with your significant other. We want our marriages to last, or relationships to get to the next level. How can it get there if you're not taking care of that person before it even get to the married level, right? These are just, again, you're going to do what you want to do. But these are just examples. These are some thoughts. Because we want to know what we could do to make our marriages last. How some of us can even get married. How about that? Some of us not even married. And we're trying to figure that good thing out. Like, how can I even position myself to be married? And it's like, okay, cool beans. Cool. So, with that being said, I just want you to know that God is good. He loves covenants. He loves covenants. He loves marriages. And he loves when we love on each other. You know, we are in a season where marriages are in trouble, and they have been for quite a while. We have to do everything we can humanly possible to sow into our marriages, to pray for our marriages, to cover our marriages, to blend and give and deposit. Okay? Do not think that you've done just enough and you don't need to do nothing else. There is always time and purpose attached and a reason to do what you need to do. Okay? Absolutely. So, I really want to let you know that normally we are on here until 7 o'clock. I'm so sorry. But this morning, we're doing a 30-minute run. We're going to shut it down with a 30-minute run. I'm doing that because I have a lot that I have to prepare for. And I probably need to get an earlier start than normal. And I still was able to cover Access Service in its entirety. I feel, I really can't say that I didn't give you what I wanted to give you this morning. I believe that I want to prep you. Because if you have the book, what I want to do is tap into tonight for Tap In Tuesday. We're going to talk about the 5 love languages. And I am going to have the book on hand. And I am going to read a couple of pieces from each chapter for the 5 love languages, give you some examples, expound a little bit, unpack a little bit. If you are familiar with that, you definitely want to tap in for Tap In Tuesday tonight. You know that you can listen here Monday through Friday right here on Spotify, but you could also listen on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio Podcasts. But tonight, you can go to www.streamyard.com/Facebook, log into your Facebook account so that you can be acknowledged by sharing your questions and your comments. If you are really into the 5 love languages or learning about the 5 love languages, this is a show you don't want to miss. It's going to be me, myself, and I. And I am asking you to join in. If you have some comments, if you have some suggestions, let's talk about it. Yesterday, remember, we covered affirmations. And this morning, we are doing Access Service. Tap in for tomorrow. right here at 6 a.m. so you can get the next level. I'll see you soon.